Alright, hey guys, Luke99 here coming at you with another review today. I know it's been a while. I was on vacation for 2 weeks, but now I am back to doing reviews. So here we go. Today I am going to be reviewing WWE Raw for August 4th, 2014. The commentators were, as usual, Jerry the King Lawler, JBL, and Michael Cole. And the location was the University of Texas in Texas. We started off with a recap of the Orton and Reigns feud so far shown, and then we actually kick off the actual show with the Authority. Triple H starts to put over SummerSlam, goes through all the matches, puts over the WWE Network of how it's $9.99 a month. So be sure to buy that, because that was literally said 50 times throughout the whole entire night. And don't even get me started with the commentary team. I can't stand the commentary team here on Raw. Triple H then announces the Beat the Clock challenge for tonight between Ambrose and Rollins. Orton cuts a promo on Reigns. Reigns then comes down, and he says he's ready to fight. Triple H announces that there's going to be a last man standing match up next between Kane and Roman Reigns. Overall, I thought this was a pretty good segment to overall just put over Raw, SummerSlam, and the WWE Network. I just think it was very successful. It was very neat to see that, and the SummerSlam card is looking absolutely incredible so far. So our first match of the night is Roman Reigns versus Kane in a last man standing match. Of course, everyone knows I'm a huge fan of last man standing matches. I think it's a very unique concept. And Raw has had a trend of great matches to kick off the show, so I expected this one to be no different. Clothesline from Roman at the start. That's what most of his moveset is really based off of, a wide variety of clotheslines. Kane then hits a DDT. Reigns hits a jumping clothesline off the second rope. He then throws Kane into the steel steps for like a count of 4. Reigns hits a massive clothesline jumping off the steel steps. Reigns then gets thrown into the steel steps. Kane starts to use the barricade, uses the kendo stick a couple of times, and then he actually hits Roman Reigns with the steel steps and makes Roman bleed right around the forehead area. And as we come back from commercial break, Reigns throws Kane into a steel chair propped into the corner. He then hits a massive clothesline, hits his like apron drop kick thing. Reigns throws Kane into the steel steps once again that are propped up on the stage. Hits a Samoan drop. Then this is probably the coolest spot of the match. Kane counters the Superman punch into a choke slam through a table. Roman Reigns then gets up, hits a DDT on a steel chair, hits a Superman punch in the spear, and picks up the victory with the 10 count, which Kane sold that spear like it was, like he was actually dying. It was really cool. It was a decent last man standing match. It didn't really have anything too crazy or super exciting besides the table spot in it, but it was still, it was good, and it served its purpose to make Reigns look strong going into SummerSlam against Randy Orton. It definitely wasn't as good as Del Rio versus Sheamus for main event a while back, because that match was absolutely incredible. If you have not seen that match yet, be sure to check it out, because it is great. But like I said, it was a good match, decent match. Up next was a video package shown for Brock and Cena, their match at SummerSlam. This was a really, really awesome video package. Very cool. Lesnar actually cut a pretty good promo on Cena, and Cena cut a pretty good promo on Lesnar, and it really got me hyped up for their match. And it was kind of neat because they weren't on Raw, so this was a good, unique way to have their feud still be showcased on the show, because it is going to be the main event. Up next was Sandow versus Mark Henry. This wasn't Sandow's best impersonation, but it was still pretty entertaining. I'm glad he is being featured on TV. I knew that once he lost his Money in the Bank match, I knew he wasn't going to go anywhere. People said still give him a chance, but I knew he wasn't going to go anywhere, and at least he's being showcased on TV every single week. So that's good for him, and sure, he's losing, but he's still getting on TV, so that's the good part. It was also pretty cool to see Mark Henry return, because I like Mark Henry. The match was basically nothing, but it was still a decent segment. And then Adam Rose had like this cheesy Oculus like promo thing. It was really cheesy and kind of dumb, but it was fitting for his character. Up next was Ambrose versus Del Rio in the first Beat the Clock match. So basically, Ambrose and Rollins, whoever picked up a win the fastest, got to choose the stipulation for their SummerSlam match. And Ambrose and Del Rio had a really good match on main event last week, so I was excited for this one. Del Rio hits a couple nice kicks for 2 right at the start. Ambrose hits a swinging neckbreaker. Del Rio hits a nice move coming off the top, like a double axe handle. Ambrose hits a roll-up for 2. Del Rio then hits a massive clothesline after the roll-up. He starts to work on the arm for quite some time. Ambrose eventually hits a suplex on the outside, tries to come back, and goes for like a shoulder block into the corner, but Del Rio gets out of the way, and Ambrose shoulder goes right into the steel post. Del Rio continues to work on the arm for a little bit more. Ambrose then starts to come back. Del Rio hits a huge super kick. Really cool spot there when he hit the super kick. He then hits a DDT. Ambrose eventually hits a suicide dive, and Del Rio basically went into the crowd. That was a really cool spot. Ambrose hits a missile dropkick, and then a tornado DDT for 2. Del Rio hits a huge, reverse superplex off the top. That was really cool to see as well. Ambrose eventually hits his yo-yo clothesline. Awesome match so far. Ambrose then, after going for it twice, Ambrose with the bad arm, Ambrose finally hits the headlock driver with the good arm at 15:42 is the time. It was just an awesome match with pretty good storytelling and also really good action, which is a perfect combo. I thought it was a great match. I really enjoyed it personally, and I think it was good to have in the middle to end hour 1. Then we had a recap shown for Brie and Stephanie for the contract signing later tonight. Rusev versus Sin Cara wasn't even a match because I don't watch the WWE app, so I didn't get to see this match, but it was like nothing, which I just think it's ridiculous of how they're showing a whole match on the app. But anyway, Lana sings Happy Birthday to the President. Jack Swagger comes down, hits an awesome Zeb says an awesome promo. Rusev then takes out Swagger with the flag. They stare down Zeb in the corner. Awesome segment. Really put over their flag match, which I think is going to be awesome at SummerSlam. And I'm still really digging this feud. Up next was Goldust and Stardust versus Ryback. I love Goldust and Stardust. They're such a unique team, and I think it really, it's they still have the chemistry. It just stinks because I would have liked to see Goldust and Cody face off before Goldust left, and I think that they should have done that when they had the tag team titles and they lost them at the Royal Rumble, because they were so hot back then. Probably the best teams in it. They really reignited the tag team division, and I still like Goldust and Stardust, but I really liked the Road Brothers. I thought that was just a great tag team. So Goldust starts with Ryback. Goldust hits his usual offense at the start. Curtis then makes a blind tag. It's a drop kick for 2. Ryback then dominates. Curtis hits a like a suplex and gets a cover for 2. Goldust eventually makes the tag to Stardust, who comes in a house on fire, takes out everyone. He then eventually wins with the Dark Matter, which I think is a really cool finishing maneuver. It was a decent tag match, and like I said, Goldust and Stardust are just an awesome tag team. And then Kane gives in his match to Stephanie and Triple H, so I'm wondering where this is going. I really hope they don't go back to Corporate Kane, because I may have been the only one, but I really didn't like Corporate Kane. But that may have just been me. Up next with Jericho versus Luke Harper. Luke Harper dominates at the start. Jericho hits a couple with chops to come back. Harper hits a clothesline. Jericho hits an enziguri. Big boot from Harper. Power bomb from Harper. Jericho gets in the walls of Jericho. Wyatt goes to Codebreaker to Rowan. Codebreaker Harper. Jericho wins by DQ after Bray knocks him down with a back elbow. It was an okay match. It was kind of disappointing because I expected more for these two amazing competitors, so I just expected more out of them. And the Wyatt-Jericho feud really hasn't lived up to my expectations so far, and it hasn't been as good as I thought it would be. So I really hope they pick it up in the last week. Actually, next week is the last week for the build to SummerSlam. Diego versus Fandango. I'm not even going to talk about this because we saw these two face off twice last weekend. Now we're seeing them for a third time face off. The Hornswoggle thing was so dumb and so cheesy. Diego eventually wins with the backstabber. Pointless segment, and the whole Summer Rae and Layla angle was kind of getting like directionless. We've seen them already like torture Fandango. How much longer is this gonna go? Because it's starting to get really, really, I don't know, like really, I guess you could say repetitive, and like just because we've seen it so many times now with so many different people. Orton then is interviewed. I'm actually excited for him versus Reigns. Bo Dallas versus Drew, a very aggressive match. I'm kind of against another match that we've seen 2 times last week, and Drew beating Bo Dallas' streak in the first place, because I don't think Drew should have been the guy, and I think they should have kept that rolling for a while longer, because it could really give Bo, I know they're trying to keep him heel, but I think it's just better with people cheering him like almost as a face. It was a short match, but Bo is still one of my favorites, though. Bray Wyatt then cuts his typical promo. We then have Seth Rollins versus RVD, which has turned into Seth Rollins versus Slater, which I kind of feel bad for RVD because he didn't even get to wrestle tonight. So, Seth Rollins versus Slater, the match wasn't really, it focused more on the storytelling. It was really cool to see Heath Slater get a couple of near falls. You were just cheering for Heath Slater, and eventually when he got the win, it was so awesome. But you have to give the assist to Dean Ambrose, who had his antics outside of the ring, basically the whole match, and he was pretty hilarious of how he poured the drink in the briefcase, tore up the contract, poured popcorn in there, and put JBL's hat in there. Ambrose is just... Excuse me. Ambrose is probably my favorite guy right now. I think he's awesome as a babyface, and I think he's great inside the ring. I'm so excited to see of what stipulation he picks. I hope it's which I know this isn't going to happen, but I hope it's a 3 stages of hell match. But like I said, that won't happen. But nonetheless, I'm really excited for Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. And then we had the contract signed between Brie and Stephanie. They kind of just like down talk each other for a while. They both signed the contract, and then Stephanie attacks Nikki as Triple H pushes the whole table against Brie into the corner, trapping her. And then Stephanie McMahon hits a pedigree on both of them. It really put over the match. I'm glad that the Divas are kind of getting this main event spot, especially Brie, because I think she's really improved. And so I'm glad they're getting this spot. And, you know, I just thought it was a good way to end the show, and I'm really excited for their SummerSlam match as well. So, match tonight, I'm going to give it to, let's see here, probably Ambrose versus Del Rio. And overall show, I thought it was okay, but considering how we're building up to SummerSlam, I thought it was kind of a dud. But that's going to be it for my review. I'll see you guys later. Bye.